How do you install the new EG4 hybrid R32 solar mini split? Today I'm going to be walking you through the process of how to install this mini split. We're going to install it together today. We're going to use that app and we're going to set up this mini split when we get that install completed. You're watching HVAC Tips for Technicians / Homeowners. I'm Tad. This is Taddy Digest. Let's go. Let's go over what comes with this mini split, what's in the box when you order it, then we'll start this install. So I've got the indoor wall mount air handler on top of the outdoor unit. I noticed that we've got a different standard for testing, and it is now SEER 2 instead of just SEER. So you're going to see that the rating is going to be lower. Does that mean the efficiencies are going to be lower from the previous models? No, it's just that the standard for testing has changed. It's a tougher test now. So before we would see, I think upwards of 25, I think it was 28 SEER for the 12K model last year. This year it's 22 SEER. It's not less efficient though, it's just the standard of testing has changed. Now there have been a lot of design changes with this, and I'm excited to explore those with this install in today's video. EG4's logo looks like it has changed. I like it. So what comes with the unit? Well, with the outdoor unit, we've got our liquid line and our gas line. This is our line sets, and we've still got the same connectors. So no vacuum pump required, no nitrogen pressure tests that you have to do. We've got some extra insulation for our copper. We've got our drain tube. We have our wireless remote controller. We have 2 rolls of wrapping tape to wrap around the line sets. We've got our drain connection. This goes on the bottom of the outdoor unit, and this is for draining that water away in the winter after the coil thaws and the unit enters the defrost. We've got a baggie here with a bunch of goodies. We've got our installation manual, super important. Got our wall sleeve, protect the line sets going through the wall. We've got wall putty to put around the line sets where they go through the wall. We've got 2 packages, looks like hardware. This is our screws for mounting. We've got an Allen tool and MC4 connectors. Allen tool for opening up the service valves to release the refrigerant. We've got an MC4 connector tool. I like that, that's cool. We've got AAA batteries for our wireless remote controller. We have a power cable for connecting the indoor and outdoor unit. And then we've got our template. Super important for knowing where to mount and how to mount the mounting plate for the indoor wall mount air handler, and a guide for our hole for our line sets. So we know where to take and drill the hole with our hole saw. Now that we've covered the contents of the box, let's start the install. Now we're going to cover unit placement. Unit placement is very important. I want the indoor and the outdoor unit to be as close as possible. My indoor unit is going to be right on the other side of the wall, so I know my line sets are going to reach. My power cable is going to be able to reach from the indoor unit to the outdoor unit. When I place my outdoor unit, I want to make sure nothing's blocking this fan from being able to discharge the air. I want to make sure that I don't put this side of the unit too close to the wall, because I want to have air move through the coil. That way I can absorb or reject the certain amount of heat that the unit needs to have good performance. You want to have it up off the ground. So I've got a pad here. This pad is 18 inches wide, it's 38 inches long, and it's about 3 inches high. Why do we want to have it up off the ground? Because we don't want dirt and debris to be getting on the bottom of the coil or to be getting in the fan. That's going to affect the performance. Now that I've chose the correct placement for the outdoor unit, now we're ready to mount the indoor unit. Now we're ready to mount the indoor wall mount air handler. This is usually the step that comes first. You usually mount your indoor unit first. Now, where do we need to mount it? Well, we need to keep a certain amount of clearance between the top of this unit and the ceiling. We can't have it all the way up to the ceiling. We need to have it at least 6 inches from the ceiling. Why? Because we have to have air going in to have air coming out. So we don't need to block where the air gets pulled into the unit. So to install this unit, we got to use a Phillips screwdriver or a Phillips bit and a drill. We take out the Phillips screw that holds the mounting plate. Once we get the mounting plate loose, we can put it up on the wall, and then we can mount it. Now before we mount it, we have to choose which side our line sets and our drain are going to go out. Are the line sets going to go out, because we're going to bend them up, are they going to go out this side of the unit? And is the drain going to go out this side of the unit? Well, that doesn't make sense to me. Usually I would take the drain tube and I would turn it. There's a little clip down here. Push that clip, pull the tube out. See that clip that holds that tube in place? And then I would take, there's a little metal piece right here. I'm going to take this plug out. See that plug right there? All right, I'm going to take that plug out. See that? And I'm going to place that plug over here. Okay, place that plug there, and then put this tube, see that clip? Got to make sure we get it in the right spot. So I'm going to place this tube here, and then we're going to be able to take our line sets and drain out the same side. Now you can see after we move the drain tube, the drain over here on the right side. This is going to make it easier for installation. Now some design changes that I really like that I see here is from the older previous model to the newer model R32, it looks like they've extended the amount of copper connected to this wall mount air handler's coil. So you can see it was just about here last time I installed the old one. The old model was about 15 inches of copper with the connector, maybe 12 inches. Now it's about 2 foot. This is great because if we have a very thick wall, let's say we have a 12-inch wall, we're going to be able to reach our connector still because they're going to be on the other side of the wall. If you don't have much copper and you have a thick wall, then your connections end up inside the wall, and I don't like that. Another thing I see that no other manufacturer is doing is they've got their spring all the way out to their connectors. This is great. This is going to aid us in bending this copper. This is a spring bender, basically. This is a spring that helps you to be able to bend this copper without kinking it. So those are 2 design changes that are great for helping me to install. So I love it. Now, for mounting the unit, we can use our template. So I can take my template and I can put it up here on the wall, and then I can cut this hole out, and then I know I can take a marker and I can mark it, and then I know where to drill this hole with my hole saw. You want to use a 2.5 inch or a 3-inch hole saw, or I don't have to use this template. I'm not going to use this template, and I'm going to show you another way to be able to mark this hole. So I'm not going to use this. We're going to go ahead and mount the mounting plate. Got my screws out of the little packet. Put the plate up here on the wall. I put the screw in the middle first, and then I get my torpedo level. So screw that one in. Torpedo level. Do I want it level? No. I want it slightly angled towards the drain. So if my drain is over here on this side, then I want my bracket like this. If my drain is over here on this side, I want my bracket like this. Why? Because we don't want water to set in the pan. There's a pan underneath the coil, and we want that water to go out of the pan and out of the drain and then outside. Once you've got the mounting plate on the wall, one thing I like to do next is I like to go ahead and put the unit on the wall. So there's a couple arrows. There's an arrow here and there's an arrow here, and they're supposed to line up in the middle of these feet on the bracket, okay? So now that I've got it on the wall, I'm going to explain to you what you can do to mark where you're going to drill the hole. So you take a pen or a marker, you go down to the very bottom, and then I put a line down here. Not to where you're going to see it. You don't want to put one down here where you're going to see it on your wall. You're not going to like that. And then I put another mark over here on the side. Now why do I do that? Because that is the farthest I can drill the hole down at the bottom and at the side. So I know that I can drill my hole somewhere in here and I won't be, it won't show whenever I put my wall mount air handler on the bracket. Because if I drill my hole down here, when I put my wall mount on the mounting plate, then you'll be able to see the hole. And that's not going to be good. And you also want it as close to the bottom as possible, because then your drain is going to have plenty of fall. So now we got a mounting plate on the wall. Now if you take your hose saw, once you've marked where you want it, take your hose saw, then you're just going to take and drill that hole straight through the wall. We've already got the hole, and one thing I like to do once I get the hole drilled, I don't use the wall sleeve that comes with the unit. I actually use my own wall sleeve. This is some thin wall PVC. That's what I like to use. Now what we do is we bend the line sets out with the drain. You can use the wrapping tape to keep it all together to help to guide it through the hole, or you can use zip ties or black tape. I usually use zip ties, but before we do any of that, we are going to take our power cable and connect it. We've got the power cable run inside. We're going to route this into the back of the indoor unit. Before we do that, we got to take off the cover for our electrical connections. So removing one Phillips screw, you can see there's 1, 2, 3 and ground. Now we're going to take this, turn it here, take the cable, there's a knockout in the back, route that cable through that knockout, and you'll be able to see it come through. You can see it right here. It's labeled. So we've got this little sleeve. This says 1, 2, 3, and then ground. We're going to connect it. 1, 2, 3, ground. It is polarity sensitive. So you're going to hook 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3 at the indoor and at the outdoor. Let's get this connected. Wires in place. Reinstall the cover. Bend the line sets up. Drain and line sets together. I'm going to route the line sets and drain through my sleeve. This will help me to keep everything together. Now that I've got it all together, now it's good to have somebody on the other side of the wall to help you, or you can just put this on your shoulder like me. Make sure that you don't get caught on anything. It's good to have the sleeve in place. Make sure the drain's on the bottom. All right. There we go. And then make sure that the top of the unit goes into the 2 hooks. Looks like we're there, and then should be able to push it down. Oh, looks like I got to push it over and then push it down, and it's in place. All right, good deal. I may have made that look hard, but it's actually easier than it looks. Now we're in place. Let's go hook up the connections outside. Here's our power cable, our drain, and our line sets. We're going to bend the line sets down. Then we're going to remove the protective caps. After removing the protective caps, we're going to take our 1/4-inch line and go ahead and roll it out. Just what we need, just what's going to reach. I set it on the ground, and then I remove the protective cap from this end. Connect that line there. Make sure you don't cross thread it. Hand tighten it. Then we're going to get our digital torque wrench. So that's hand tightened. There we go. Make sure it's straight. I'm going to install a line hide cover because I want it to look pretty. I'm going to roll out the 3/8. Should be everything we need. Now I'm going to remove this cover. Connect this line here. Now we've got the liquid pipe connected and the gas pipe connected. All right, I'm going to go ahead and remove the covers from the outdoor unit and then connect the other end, and then we'll use our digital torque wrench to tighten everything up. Removing the cover for the copper connections. There's our decoupling ring right there. We'll need that. Make sure you check out the link in the description. I'm going to put Signature Solar's website down there, and I'll give you a discount code too, so you can save some money. I'm going to go ahead and remove the cover for the electrical connections while I'm at it. We'll talk about electrical next, solar panels and all that. All right, that's removed. Remove the protective covers. This is the larger line, 3/8 connection. This is the smaller line. This is the 1/4 inch connection. This is the liquid service valve. This is the gas or suction service valve. Now, take my line sets. Bend this. I actually like to make it look as nice as possible, so that's what it's going to look like right there. Connect that. That's connected. All right. Now, our liquid. Much easier to maneuver around. Still be careful though, you can easily kink the copper. All right, let's get the digital torque wrench. Now we're going to use our digital torque wrench, and we're going to look at page 14 of the installation manual. You can see it says connect the tubing to the outdoor unit and tighten to 25 to 30 Nm. So that is Newton meters. Now you can see I've got my digital torque wrench and it's turned on. If we over torque, we're going to break the fitting, and I don't want that. So it's going to start beeping. Look at it. It says 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. It says 26, didn't it? I think 28. Okay. So we are going to tighten all of those fittings just like that. Then we're going to install the decoupling ring just like this. There we go. You got to use 2 wrenches to connect at the indoor unit's connections. In between 25 and 30, and then decoupling ring. Now we're done with all this. Let's go ahead and start with the electrical next. Looks like we can use solar, DC, or we can use AC. AC, 115 volt. DC, 90 volts to 380 volts. Max PV input voltage, 380. So don't go over 380. I recommend at least having 3 400 watt panels because the input wattage for this is around 1200 watts. So 3 400 watt panels, but I would even up it. I would go to 4 400 watt panels. So we are going to go ahead and wire up the power cable from the indoor to the outdoor unit at 1, 2, and 3. We're going to wire up our AC voltage from L and N, and then we're going to have our 2 ground wires. Let me go ahead and get that connected so you can see it. Got the electrical hooked up, so we can see right here, I've got number 12 wire. I've got a black, a white, and a ground. This is stranded wire. You may want to use number 10 wire. It's 25 amp max fuse, so we're going to have a single pole 25 amp breaker. So black, white, go to L and N, and then ground, 1, 2, 3, and then ground. And now we're going to hook up our PV wiring. So PV wiring, this is the positive. It is polarity sensitive. Don't put the positive to negative and the negative to positive. Now let's go ahead and open up the valves. So take the caps off the service valves. And I'm going to open up the larger line first. Make sure that you back it all the way out and you open both service valves. If you don't open both service valves, then you will not have good performance. Now we've got DC power connected, but no AC power, and I can actually hear the unit is making some noise, so this is exciting. I'm going to show you the breaker that I've got installed. This is my AC disconnect. I've got a non-fused disconnect. This is the pull out for it. So I'm going to plug that in. We should have power when I plug it in on the AC side as well. All right, let's get this thing running. A few things I like to do for my installs is, one, I like to do away with that drain tube that's plastic. I like to use PVC. So I will put this drain tube inside of this PVC, and then I will get wire ties. And of course, I'll put this extra insulation right here around this piping and this connector, like that. I'll get this other one. I'll put it around this. Then I will wire tie all this together. Power cable, line sets, drain. Then after I wire tie all this together all the way down, I will cover this up with a nice custom line hide cover. See what that's gonna look like? It's gonna look really nice. If you need a line set cover, check out permacover.com. You can actually use discount code Taddy5, get 5% off. I'll put the link in the description for their website. Let me tidy this up, then we'll go over the solar panels, we'll look at that app, we'll get this thing going. Do not forget to close up the hole where your line sets go through the wall. You've got a little bit of an open hole there around the line sets in your wall sleeve. So you can use wall putty or silicone or low expansion foam to close that up. This is wall putty, it comes with the unit. It's not a candy bar. Do not eat it, okay? Do not put it in your mouth. If you put it in your mouth and I find out, not gonna be good, guys, okay? Nobody needs to eat the wall putty. I know it may look delicious, guarantee it doesn't smell delicious. Now, I can put my beautiful cover on the wall. And then, I won't have to look at an ugly eyesore and be unhappy with my install. Ooh, that looks so good. Oh yeah. We're in my off-grid shed on my farm, and this is where I get my AC power from an EG4 6000 XP off-grid inverter. I've got 5 of the 5,000 watt hour EG4 rack mount batteries paired with this, so about 25 kilowatt hours. I'm going to turn on the single pole breaker that's for that mini split there. I've got the batteries in my remote controller. Now I can turn the unit on with the power button using the wireless remote. Got the remote holder I can mount on the wall, but I'm going to use the app. So here's the app, Solar Aircon. Click on it. We're going to add our device. It says add manually or solar AC. It says to unlock the full function, we need to sign into the account. I'm going to skip that. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to hit the button that says light right here on the remote. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to start beeping. When it starts beeping, hit next. Then it's going to connect. Searching for available Wi-Fi. So we're going to connect to our solar unit. There's our Wi-Fi. Go ahead and click it. I'm going to enter my password real quick. Entered the Wi-Fi password. Now you can see the solar AC was added successfully. So now let's hit done. And we're going to be able to bring up that app where we can see everything. Check it out. We can see the PV input on the left. We can see the AC input on the right. We can change the modes. We can bring this up here. We can turn on the AC limiter so we can limit the amount of AC that we use. We can hit heating or cooling. I'm going to turn it on cooling and then bring this little dial down and turn it on 61. That is awesome. Now, I'll show you how to use the AC limiter function with the remote controller. So you're going to see something that says SE right here. See that says SE? If you turn that on, click, you're going to see this plug light up blue. See the plug light up blue? Now you're going to be able to adjust using this button, right? It's right above sleep. So if we hit that button one time, it says 1, 2, or 3. That is 25%, 50%, or 75% limiting of the AC. Then once we get what we want, we hit the SE button again. And then it's set. So you can set up AC limiter with the app. You can set up AC limiter with the remote. Now, let's go over the solar panels that I've got connected. Here's the PV array that I've got connected to the outdoor units MC4 connectors. This is 3 400 watt panels, so 1200 watt in total. Now, Signature Solar has bundles that they have for the mini splits, the hybrid 12K and the hybrid 24K, and they have the right amount of panels you need. Now, I can put up to 4 400 watt panels or even 5 500 watt panels. I'm not worried about having too much current. I'm just worried about having too much voltage. The reason I'm not worried about too much current is because in the outdoor unit, there is a solar booster module or a solar booster board or what's known as an MPPT. So it's automatically going to take that current and it's going to take that voltage and it's going to boost it so that it can use it properly. So don't worry about having too much current. Just worry about having too much voltage because you don't want to go over the recommended VOC, which was 380. I took a few screws and mounted each one of the feet to the pad so the outdoor unit wouldn't slide off. If you don't have a pad to mount the outdoor unit on, get a wall mount bracket, mount it up off the ground on a wall, get a stand, mount the outdoor unit on a stand, especially if you live in a very cold climate where you have a foot of snow. You don't want this unit buried in snow because that will affect the efficiency and the performance. If you need a line hide cover, remember, check out the link in the description, permacover.com. There is a discount for you. Also, check out Signature Solar because there's a discount code for you so you can save some money. You want to learn how to recover refrigerant, vacuum, or charge a mini split? I'm going to put that video down below so you can learn how. You want to learn how to troubleshoot EG4 mini splits, test the sensors, test the main controller inverter board, take apart the indoor unit, take apart the outdoor unit, or maybe how to uninstall this unit. I'm going to put those videos down below so you can learn more. You've been watching HVAC Tips for Technicians / Homeowners. I'm Tad, this is Taddy Digest, and I'll keep you cool if you let me.